Sorry about your tail. I'm sorry about your tail. Oh, you're okay.
I stepped on her tail. It was an accident. It was not on purpose. All right. I want to make sure, first of all, you guys can hear me okay. I have my fan, like, literally right here blowing on me from the start tonight. So, can you still hear me okay? Just let me know, guys, if that's not an issue. I'm hoping it's not. Because I'm telling you what, I'm like, it is too hot. All right, cool. All right. So, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope your week has been good. Cannot believe it's Friday already. And man, I'll tell you what, the time has gone by so fast. It is amazing how that's going. Uh, uh, but okay, so before we get started with the stream, okay, we're going to talk about first comes the carrot, then comes the stick. So we're going to get into that. I have something else that I got to address before I even do that. But this is amazing, absolutely amazing. And we'll get into that in a minute, okay? But it's actually mind-boggling, to be honest with you. But we'll get into that. New York State, I'm telling you what, oh my God. So, but before we get started, I want to if we have any interruptions with the stream, I will get right back on as soon as I possibly can. And so just be aware that if there's an issue, you may not get a notification that I'm back on. Hey, Homestead Homeboy. He says, hello, Ed. Well, hello, and thank you very much for the donation. I do appreciate that. Um, so, again, you might not get notification. So just, I will get right back on if we have any problems. So hopefully we don't with the new internet that I have. And some people had asked what that was. I switched to Armstrong. They are out of Pennsylvania. Literally, guys, I'm going to tell you what, it's amazing. It is amazing. So before, when I would upload videos, I would be looking at anywhere from 22 to 30 minutes for a video, for a 15-minute video to upload. Now, less than 2 minutes. I mean, before I am done with the first page of getting the information on there, it's ready to go up. So, really, really happy about that, because that, I'm going to tell you what, that part always sucked, is waiting around and then checking, is it up yet? Is it not up yet? And all that. So, no, I'm really, really pleased with Armstrong. It's been absolutely, it's fiber optic. So if you see the little monitor right there, that is an enhancer. So the main one is in the front of the house, and that is an enhancer for the back of the house here. And it's fantastic. So, all right. Also, want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly channel. So I'm asking everybody to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness, anything like that. So I would ask you all to be decent. If you cannot, I have a lot of background. I have the fan right here. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing the fan, because I have, the last two streams that I did, literally I felt like I was melting because it was so freaking hot. And so I said, well, I'm just going to take that fan. I mean, I can lower it down a little bit if it's too much for you guys, but yeah, that's going to help. It's going to help a lot. So, and I really don't want to do a stream butt naked, because that really is not going to help. I mean, that muscle shirt is, so, don't want to shock and scare people. So anyway, let's get back. Sorry. So please be decent. And if you can't handle those easy, simple things, those awesome people that you see split up in blue will boot you out here. All right? So, all right. The fan's fine? Okay. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Because I'm going to tell you what, it's going to make all the difference with everything. Hey, Karen, allow me to introduce Ed, the wood stacking fool. Yeah, right? Oh, my. I'm going to tell you, thank you very much for the donation, too, by the way. We were doing it today, and I had planned on doing a lot of it today, to be honest with you. And I had, before I started stacking wood, I think I had told you guys I was going to go and pick up another 50-pound bag of cracked corn and another 50-pound bag of feed. And I'm going to get into talking about that in a little bit as well, because somebody had asked some questions about that, and I wanted to address that as well. So we're going to get into that in a little bit as well, okay? No updates on the property yet. I got the last of the things I have to get together for the process of getting the loan. So it's what it comes down to, guys. I had to get some information together for my bank up here. Once they approve the loan and they say, yes, we're going to give you 35 grand. Oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, and I swore and told you what I'm going to pay for the land. Oh my God. All right, well, so now you know. But oh my God. Delete. And I haven't had nothing to drink today. Oh my God. All right. Well, anyway, so now you guys know exactly what I paid for the land. But let me get back. So when the loan goes through, then I will be taking care of what I need to take care of down there. Oh my goodness gracious. So I slip and tell you how much I paid for the land, and then I swore on top of it. Bad. Very bad. Okay, so all right. Before we get into talking, yeah, put my pants back on. They're on, trust me. And I haven't had anything to drink or anything to smoke or anything like that. I would never. I'll tell you right now, I could not come on here and try to do a live stream stoned. Would not work. I would get nothing done. Wouldn't remember anything. It would be very, very bad. Yes. Actually, I'll tell you what. It was a great deal on this property, and right now, Rose, I'm going to keep both properties for right now. Yes, because this property's paid for, so the payment for the second property is not going to be so outrageous that I can't handle it, and you know, it's not going to be that bad. So you know, it's yeah, it's so right now I'm going to keep both. Get my infrastructure in place down there, and then we'll see what happens after that. It maybe 2, maybe 3 years, I will sell this place up here and be out of here altogether. You know, we're gonna go by there, and we'll see what happens. All right, so I want to before we get into the topic, which you guys are probably like, is he ever going to talk about the topic? I will, I promise. Okay, but I gotta address this first. Okay, just got this alert that came in. New York State Legislature approves bills to raise the age to arrest juveniles. Now, pay attention to that, okay? And ease parole penalties, okay? New York State Legislature late Thursday approved a package of bills that will help New Yorkers avoid jail time for technical parole violations. That one I don't really have a problem with, okay? Technical things, as long as they're not breaking parole in a bad way, I don't have a problem with that. But the other one I have a huge problem with, okay? And would prevent children under 12 for being arrested as juveniles, okay? Under the legislation, police would be unable to arrest children under the age of 12 except in homicide cases. Now I want you to let's let that sink in. And of course, the ALCU thinks it's wonderful. The Bar Association thinks it's wonderful. I want to address this, okay? Cuomo's got 10 days to pass it or veto it. Most likely, he's going to pass it. I want you to think about this, and I want this to sink in. So you're under 12 years old, no matter what you do, except for murdering somebody, you will not be arrested. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see 8, 9, 10-year-olds selling crack on the streets because every drug lord is going to pull these kids in because they're not going to get arrested. How insane is this? That's insane. This is New York, guys. Yes, this is in New York. The one for minor parole violations, I get that. I got no problem with that one. I mean, you know, for small technical stuff and these guys are going back to prison, that doesn't make sense. So that one I get, okay? Yeah, Oliver Twist will be on the streets again, that's for sure. It's insane. I'm going to tell you what. How old was I the first time I got arrested? I was right around that age. I was right around 12 years old. Yeah. I was naughty. Very bad. But yeah, it's but again, you're opening Pandora's box to basically a free for all for criminals to recruit young kids to do all the crime for them, and you can't. The cops are not going to be able to arrest these kids. That's insane. That is absolutely insane to me. So another reason to leave New York. Imagine that. So unbelievable. That is just the height of stupidity, in my opinion. Just giving you my opinion, of course. So, anyway, we're already at 628 in the chat, guys. We got 205 as far as thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And because only about a third of you have so far. And thank you very much for doing that. I do appreciate it. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we have, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for doing it for that reason as well. Of course, the third reason is I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. So thank you for that reason as well. Also, again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification for all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. Yeah, they will be openly selling drugs. Yeah. Oh, and in schools, forget about it. There'll be like little monsters in schools. So if they murder somebody is the only way you're going to arrest them if they're under 12. That is insane. I'm sorry, that's just insane. Because I'm going to tell you what, I have. They were making unvaccinated kids with Sharpies in exterior New Hampshire during their prom. Oh, marking the unvaccinated ones with a Sharpie. Nice. Yeah, that's crazy. We're going to talk about the carrot and the stick here for a little bit, okay? So it has to do with, of course, right? When should we call it the Fauci ouchie? The carrot is all the wonderful things you're being given permission to do if you get this, okay? Like my great nephew, who wanted to go to his high school graduation and do all those proms and all those type of things, which any kid wants to do. So in order to participate in all those things, he had to get it. So he did. Okay, so the reward is you do as you're told. Here's your reward. We're going to give you these privileges, which they should have been able to do anyway. Okay. The carrot is also, all these incentives in the lotteries, in the scholarships, and all these type of things to get people to comply. Using guilt, using persuasion, these businesses being incentivized by the government to mandate these things, and that way they can try to force their staff to get this and do it and comply. So there was a hospital in Texas that suspended, I think it was like almost 200 staff, I believe. If I'm mistaken on the number, please somebody correct me. But I believe it was at least 200 staff were put on suspension because they would not get it. Okay, they were making it mandatory. So I'm going to tell you right now, and I can tell you this without a doubt. As a nurse, or if you're in the medical field, period, there's always jobs out there. So, if you're at one place and they're trying to force people to do something, go someplace else. Go someplace else where they're not going to, okay? A lot of games going on with that. So, that's what's happening right now. They're dangling the carrots, right? Dangling the carrots and saying, if you're good, if you do as you're told, these are your rewards. Just like I told you guys for New York, they're saying that 68.6% of New Yorkers have had at least one, right? That's what they're saying. Now, I don't know if that's true. I highly doubt that that's true because a number of people that I have talked to, some have had it, but a large majority have not, okay? So they said that once they hit 70%, they'll lift all the restrictions. So again, there's the carrot again. Here's the reward for doing as you're told. Now, I have a huge problem with all of it, to be honest with you. And I've been very clear on that from the beginning of this. You know, not only the fact that it is an emergency release, okay, which is true, not making anything up, not saying anything that's not true, so they can't, you know, say, well, you're giving out false information. That's absolutely true. It was an emergency release. That's number one. Second thing that bothers me is there's zero liability on the manufacturers for putting this out there. So there is no incentive for them to make sure that this is safe. Okay, there's no incentive. So they can say it's safe, they can scream that from the top of the hills, and that's perfectly fine. But do we know? And the biggest thing that I have an issue with, and I've talked about this as well, there is no long-term study. They don't know the long-term effects from this. So if you are watching, and if you have had the right, you are the long-term study, and they will see what happens. Okay, there's been very much documented issues with blood clots for some people. There's also been heart issues with other people. Okay, so again, do I want to take that chance? Me personally, never going to happen. Never going to happen. Okay, so the stick. Let's talk about the stick. I have a gut feeling that, okay, so now they're talking, and I love how they've done this, okay? So the different variants that are out there, right? They're talking about the variants from here, the variants from there, so they're calling it variant Delta, because we don't want to call it the variant coming out of India, which is where it's coming out of, right? I'm not going to call it that because we don't want to have, you know, like the supposed rise of hate crimes against Asian people because of, you know, this came from China. So we're calling it variant Delta. There is being put out there that this is the latest in the really bad thing, right? Oh my God, this thing is so much more contagious. This is the information that we're getting. Okay, all right. So my concern, and this is just, I'm just throwing a theory out here, just speculating, wanting people to think, what if the agenda was, okay, now we have this, oh, and just so you know too, I think it was in Calgary, up in Canada, they had 10 fully vaccinated people that had got the variant Delta, even though they were fully vaccinated. So again, and that's the other thing too, and you know, they talk about it, but it just kind of like, well, we'll keep this one quiet. Even fully vaccinated, you can still get this virus. Okay, so just putting that out there too. So, you know, even though we want you to do this, and you know, they come up with all these numbers and the surveys, and well, we put these surveys out and people said this, and we put this survey out and people said this. How do we know that's not all smoke they're blowing up our behinds? You know what I mean? We don't know. We don't know. So that's something again to think about. But anyway, my concern is that what you will see, maybe not so much this summer, but as we get more towards the fall, I think what you may end up seeing happen is, oh no, this new variant, whatever variant that they decide it is going to be out here. We need to get everybody vaccinated. We need, everybody has to do it. And my fear is that they're going to try to make it a mandatory thing. That's my fear. And using fear and propaganda to force people to do this. And I just, every fiber of my being says, do not get this. Now again, and I'm just gonna put this out there. If you want to get it, go ahead, do what you got to do. As an individual, this is an individual choice. It absolutely is an individual choice. Okay, My choice, obviously, and I've been, 100% clear. I'm not like, oh my God, where does Prepper Nurse 1 stand? I stand that it's never happening. Okay. Um, Mom's not got it. Becky hasn't gotten it. My niece hasn't gotten it. So, those people have not gotten it. My sister Margie, I don't think she's gotten it either. I don't believe she has. So, I just, I've encouraged the people that are in my life not to do it, and I explained to them why. I talked to my stepson Josh, who absolutely planned on doing it. I don't know if he's done it yet or not, but he definitely planned on doing it. Hey, Gary Lee, do you think that came from China was a false flag in order to create the jab to deliver something? I don't believe it was a false flag. I think that it was my gut feeling is that the timing of the release of this was done absolutely on purpose. I believe it was on purpose. That's my guess, and I'll explain to you why I feel that way. I feel it was done on purpose because you had people all over the world, from the United States to France to Egypt to Syria to Hong Kong to Taiwan, all over the world. People were saying, France is another one. I've had enough. I've had enough of this governmental control and them telling us what we can and cannot do. And people were starting to stand up and say, I'm not doing this anymore. Okay. So my thought was, and this is just, again, this is my theory. Okay. I think it was released on purpose because now they could lock us all down. They took China took over Hong Kong, and nobody made any stink about it at all because everybody was worried about what was happening in their own backyard. Realistically, that's what happened. I don't think that would have gone down the way it went down if that had not been the case. I don't think it would have. But when you have now, do I feel that the numbers were greatly inflated? I absolutely do. Okay. Do I think certain countries underreported China? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. If you are losing, a great point was made. Somebody had made the statement after that whole thing happened over there. You had millions of cell phones that went offline. Millions of cell phones went offline in China. What does that tell you? Did like a couple million people decide, hey, you know what? I don't want my phone anymore. Let's all just get rid of our phones all at the same time. I don't think that's the case. Yes, I saw the president of France got slapped. And the guy that slapped him, they gave him 18 months in jail and suspended 14 months of it. So he's got 4 months in jail for slapping the president of France. But, it just, these people that are in power like to be in power. They don't want to not be in power. Okay, they don't. They like that power. They like that control. And so again, in my opinion, again, and I'm just giving you my opinion, I think that the whole thing was orchestrated to regain control, to lock people back down. And you look what happened here, guys. You look what happened in the United States. It blew me away. Just the whatever they said, people just followed along like good little sheep and did what they were told. And our kids are being unbelievably indoctrinated now in the schools. Critical race theory that's a nightmare. I'm going to tell you what, every kid in this country, every single kid in this country has an opportunity, regardless of what color they are, they can do anything that they want to do if they work hard and put the effort in. So if you come from the backwood hills of Kentucky, or if you are podunk poor in the middle of the city, if you work hard and put that effort in, you can accomplish anything you want. Hey, North Shore Preparedness. China isn't asking where this started, neither was the U.S. for a long while. Bedfellows don't share pillow talk. Yeah, Fauci. Of course. And you know what? And thank you very much for the donation. They knew where it came from. Of course they knew where it came from. And they act like we're all stupid and we don't know anything at all. Now don't get me wrong. we were going into this blind like everybody else. So at first, and I will be the first to admit, and I'll tell you guys, and I've talked about this before, when this whole thing started in China, I thought personally that it was much more deadly than it was. Okay, I thought it was really deadly. I thought it was very contagious. I was wearing a mask. I was wearing gloves. I was wearing rubber gloves there, to pump my gas because I didn't want to touch anything that everybody else had touched because I was very concerned. And I talked about it. If you go back and watch my videos, and well, first of all, I talked about the fact that it's going to come over here and why weren't they shutting everything down to stop these people from coming over here? That's what I'm going to tell you what, as soon as that thing started in China, and China started locking down cities, all travel should have been stopped right then and there from every country, because you don't know. You don't take that chance. And if you have Americans, okay, so somebody said, well, what about the Americans that are overseas and are trying to get home? Go to the consulate. That's where you're going to have to go. That's a chance you take when you leave the country. Sorry, that's not my problem. If you are in China and a supposedly deadly virus breaks out, you don't get to come home right away until they figure out what's going on, okay? But what do? Oh yeah, everybody come on, let's go. And they brought it over here, and it started over here, and things went absolutely crazy, okay? All about control, all about regaining that control. And we just got in line. And as it continued and got more and more and more, I started looking at stuff and going, we're being manipulated. And when the numbers truly came out and we saw that the percentage of people dying from it are minuscule, realistically, who is at the greatest risk? Let's be honest. Who is at the greatest risk? Compromised people, the elderly, okay? 80% of all hospitalizations, 80% of all hospitalizations from the virus had one mitigating factor in common. One factor: overweight or obese. Okay? What happens if you're obese? You have a lot of underlying health issues. It's a fact. That's not fat shaming. That's not saying anything bad about people that are overweight. And, oh my God, how dare you say anything about anybody that's overweight? The fact is the fact. 80% of all hospitalizations from the virus were people that were either overweight or they were obese. That is a fact, okay? The other, you have your compromised folks, people with breathing issues, people that are compromised immune system, be it from cancer or heart disease or whatever the case may be, okay? This is reality, okay? So those were the people, especially the elderly, that were a compromised group anyway. They're dropping like flies. They were dropping like flies, okay? And, like I said, I personally believe it was done on purpose. It's to scare the crap out of people, to get people in control. But realistically, my age group, my chances of surviving, and I want you to think about this. And I'm going to give you another number with it, okay? Another number with that. So the people in my age group, it's a 99.5% chance of survival if I catch it, okay? So if I get it, I have a 99.5% chance of surviving. My daughter, who is 19 years old and in good health, she's too skinny, but she's in good health, her chances of survival are 99.9%. So why are they trying to make this mandatory for these kids to get it to go back to school? That's an issue. Oh, and I just want you, here's another little fun-filled fact. The first cruise ship that just went out, fully vaccinated. Everybody that was on the ship had to be vaccinated to go on this cruise. 2 people on the cruise already have the virus. Isn't that fun? Just a little fun-filled fact for you. So, all right. Something else to think about. I want you to, because here's something to wrap your heads around. And this is something that just happened to my neighbor. SHTF happens. End of the world scenario. How are some of the ways people are going to be gone pretty quickly? Okay. My neighbor next door got stung by a bee a couple days ago. Now, she's been stung before. Bad reaction to it. This time, she went into anaphylactic shock. The only symptom that she did not have of anaphylactic shock was she was still breathing okay. But the doctor took her to the hospital. They gave her steroids and did all this type of stuff. And now she's going to have to carry an EpiPen with her the rest of her life. Because if she gets stung, she's got to hit herself with the EpiPen and then get to the hospital as soon as she possibly can. In a post-event, she's done if she gets stung. So she could live years and years and years and everything's great. She gets hit by a bee and boom, that's it. Lights out. Party's over. Because there's not going to be anything that you're going to be able to do for somebody like that. Okay. She is in early 30s. Okay. And all of a sudden now she has this reaction with the bee sting. You know, scary. But these things are going to happen, guys. That's something I want people to think about. Hey, Pamela Sherry. My good friend had a shot and she developed pneumonia and bronchitis. Then she threw a blood clot in her lungs, was 100% fine before. Wow. And you know what? And this is another great example, of why you need to be cautious. I'm going to advise you to be cautious. That's what I'm going to advise. It's a personal, individual choice. Thank you very much for the donation and thank you for the statement and sharing that information as well. So thank you. I don't know, and I'm not going to speculate, and I'm not going to do any of the conspiracy theories with what is in this inoculation, okay? I'm not doing that because I don't know. I laid out earlier in this video what my concerns were, and those are my biggest concerns, okay? And I think that individually, we all have to make our own personal choices. And like my stepson said to me, well, I just want to go back to normal. I'm going to do it. And here's the other thing for him. He is a golf pro. Okay. So he works at a golf course and he works with a lot of older people and, he's teaching them golfing and those type of things. And he's a real good kid. He says, and again, the propaganda machine out there, right? You're doing it for other people. That's why you're doing it not for yourself. You're doing it for other people. Isn't that wonderful? It's a nice theory and it's a nice sounding thing to do something for everybody else, thinking of everybody else. That's wonderful. But is that a reality? I don't think so. I don't. Guys, we're up to 938 in the chat. We're at 380 on the thumbs up here. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you please to do that to show support for the channel. And once again, thank you very much for doing that. Pamela Sherry says, they're recalling the vaccines for kids in May in many countries, including Germany, due to heart failure in teen boys. Wow. Yeah, I know that there's been some major issues with heart problems, and that is scary. And I'm going to tell you what, as a parent, and I want to address that too. A couple things I'm going to talk about really quickly. I'm going to just hold that thought a second about the parents, okay? But thank you very much for the statement, and thank you for the donation as well. But getting back real quick, if you would shoot a thumbs up, it really does help with the algorithms too. So thank you for that. Also, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up, so thank you for doing it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time for doing that. Okay, so let's talk about really quickly as parents. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I love my children. Like even Josh, my stepson, I mean, he's 25 years old now, so he's an adult. Eddie and Heather are technically adults, right? I consider them young adults. They're adults, yes, they're adults. They're 19, they'll be 20 this year, but they're young adults. And so, because somebody had said to me, well, it's not your call to make if your daughter gets it or not. It's up to her. Well, she came right on here and she said she wants to wait and she's not in any hurry to get it, right? But I'm going to make sure, yeah, as her parent, you know why? Because I love my child. I love my children. I didn't want Josh to get it. I tried to talk to him and, no. I've done my research and I'm going to get it. Well, that's, again, he is 25 years old. That's his choice. I can't do nothing about it. I can't. Okay. But if I can influence my daughter or my son not to get it, my other son, Eddie, not to get it, I'm absolutely going to do that because I just, there is not enough research done. And that is a fact. That is a fact. And I'm telling you, and again, and I'm not saying that this is going to be the case. I'm not saying this is going to be the case. But what if? This is a what if type of question, okay? What if 4 years from now they discover, oh my goodness gracious, wow, anybody that got this, because we've been pouring it on little kids now, right? We're trying to get them right down to 12 years old to get it. Anybody that got this, oh, sorry, you're all sterile. That's a possibility. That could happen. Okay? That could happen. And if that happens, what happens to the world population? I want you to think about that. You would have a whole generation that's never having kids. You want to talk about population control? There's a real good way to do it, and y'all did it voluntarily. Okay? Y'all did it voluntarily because you were scared, you were manipulated, you were bribed, you were bullied. Yeah. Like there's a huge push right now for the black communities. They are having religious leaders, leaders, trying to convince people to do it. Oh, it's okay. It's safe. Go ahead, do it. And again, do or don't. It's an individual choice. But I'm not letting some other man determine or woman determine what is or what isn't right for me and mine. That's just where I stand. With the way some of these younger people are, maybe the population control is okay. Yeah, I hear you, James Osborne. I hear you on that. Yeah, I just, like I said, I'm a big believer in questioning everything. We will see what happens long term. It will be interesting to see. It will be interesting to see. Uh, Karen says, bingo, Ed. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the donation. So, again, like I said, individually, I'm not going to ever tell you guys what to do. I will never come on here and say, you need to do this. Because I'm going to tell you, one of the things that I cannot stand, is when somebody comes on the channel and makes a comment and says, you need to. Because as soon as I see those words, you need to, I tune right out. I will tune right out because I don't need to do anything. I love advice. I love people giving me different ideas. Some people said, having 2 doorways in the woodshed. Okay, that's fine. I like the way my woodshed is. Somebody said, and I love this comment today. And I didn't take this as a trollish comment, just so you know, but I thought it was funny the way they worded it. If you were smart, you would have put the doorway right in the center. Okay, maybe, but we didn't. We put it on the side, and so that's where it is. Who cares? Are any of y'all gonna come over here and pull any wood out of my woodshed or stack any wood into my woodshed? How many? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. How many of you? Oh, that's right. None of you. So why do you care? I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. I don't. It's amazing. It is amazing to me. But yeah, I will never ever come on here and say you need to. Okay. I will encourage you to do things. I am a true Democrat. The party elites who were sold out need to disappear. There's a lot of them that sold out. A lot of these politicians, period, on both sides of the aisles. So don't think it's just Democrats. And I want to bring this up really, really quickly. And tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And if you can prove that I'm wrong, I would love to hear it. Okay? Tell me that the Democratic Party, the social media giants, and the media, meaning the news outlets, did not collude to work together to make sure Donald Trump was not reelected. Prove to me that they did not do that. And I would love to see that information. Homestead Homeboy, it's my body and my right not to take the jab. I agree with you 100%. I absolutely agree with you 100%. It's just like the flu shot. Some people get it, some people don't. If you don't want it, then don't get it. Okay? Simple as that. Thank you very much for the donation and thank you for your statement. Okay? But if anybody can prove to me that not, all three of them did not collude together to try to make sure that he did not get reelected, I would love to see that information. They just, and I want you to think about this, guys, okay? He was just suspended off, well, he's suspended off of Twitter forever. He's off of Twitter forever. They've banned him forever. He's got a 2-year ban on Facebook for citing insurrection. Come on, really? North Shore Preparedness is asking Ed, did Thick Neck lay today? Yeah, we can do the egg count. We're close enough to that. Before we do the egg count, I want to do this real quick. I want to talk about my website really quickly, okay? Preparedness1.com. Go over to my website. We have the Preparedness One community over there, which is a great resource to connect for like-minded people. So definitely check that out. It is free to join. It does not cost anything, but you do have to register. So if you would like to read the message board, see the information that's in there, go at it, okay? The second thing, we have the Forefathers, which is the CBD and hemp store. So again, if you go to preparedness1.com, you will see the Forefathers logo. If you click on that, it will take you to their store. If you decide to make a CBD or hemp purchase, which is a great thing to have in your preps, it helps with a lot of different ailments and things. I use it myself for my back when my back is really bothering me, and for me, it really makes a difference. So I'm just, that's my own personal endorsement on that. If you go there, you make a purchase on their website, you'll save yourself 15% if you use the discount code PrepperNurse1 when you check out. Okay, so don't forget to do that. It's the number 1, not ONE. Also, we have the Legacy freeze-dried food. So again, if you go to my website, preparedness1.com, you click on store, it'll drop down, it'll say Legacy. The Legacy food is still there. It's available. There is no sale at the moment, but if you would like to add that to your long-term food preps, definitely take advantage of that as well. 25-year shelf life, GMO-free. Gluten options are available. Also, there is... going blank here. Made in the United States. Meat options are available if you're interested as well. And just so everybody that did place an order, your orders are in when your order ships out. Okay? Because there was some people that had started to put orders in, but it never went through. So there's probably like 4 or 5 people that their order never went through. But everybody that's orders that went through and your money was deducted, all of your orders are in. As soon as those orders ship out, you will get shipping information, and it's been going very, very quickly once they do that. So all the orders are in, just so you know. Okay, so I see all these numbers up here. Now we're going to start looking. What's your guesses for the egg count today, guys? All right, so I'll give you a minute because I wasn't looking at all. So the first right number that I see, I will let you know. Okay, if you had the same exact guess, and only one person I saw had this guess, and that was April Carey. April Carey with 9 eggs. We ended up with 9 eggs today. We had, I never told you what the egg count for yesterday was. Yesterday's egg count was 10. Wednesday's egg count, as you guys know, was 12. So we had 12, 10, and then 9 today. So not displeased with that at all. And yes, Thick Neck did lay today. She laid yesterday as well, so yeah, no issues there at all. So, but they're nice and steady. They're this time. Okay, so let's talk about chickens really quickly because somebody did have this question, and I wanted to address it on here. So I keep a certain amount of feed on hand, right? SHTF happens tomorrow. Boom, end of the world happens as we know it. Now we got to figure out how are we going to feed the chickens long term, number 1. How are we going to get the chickens through the winter, number 2. And what are we going to do? Okay, so I'm going to break it down for you really simply. I probably have enough feed that I could probably feed my chickens for about 6 months with just feed, cracked corn and feed. What I would do, to be honest with you, if SHTF happened tomorrow, I'm going to go into that hen house, and my oldest roosters that I know are my oldest roosters, I'm going to probably cull 5, 6, maybe 7 of them. I would get rid of Foghorn Leghorn, and I would just keep Goliath. Okay, that would be the very first thing that I would do. The second thing that I would do right off the bat is I would take the next 2 dozen eggs that I got, and I have the 2 incubators here in the house. I would start incubating and making new chickens. Okay, that would be the second one. The ones that I culled would go into freezer camp. Absolutely. Hey, Angela Rowland. Hey there, 2 country girls from Lynchburg, Virginia that will not be getting the jab. Can you say hi to my daughter, Avina? I think that's how you say it. Avina? Love your post. So if I'm wrong on the way I'm saying that, I do apologize. But hello, Avina. Nice to see you, and thank you very much for the donation, and thank you for being here. So, Warren Foghorn, yeah, right. I would definitely call the chickens down. That would be number one. The second thing that I would do, this time of year, I would not be giving them a lot of feed. I would give them greens every single day. Try to give them any kind of scraps that I could give them, so that they could eat all that through now through the fall. That would be the second thing that I would do. I would try to save the feed and the cracked corn and stuff like that as much as I could for those winter months when we're not going to be able to have access to things to give them. So that would be my game plan as far as the chickens. Because somebody had asked that, and I thought, well, you know what? I want to address that in a live stream because it's easier than trying to like write out this long comment to that individual. I wanted to address it on here. So, that's the way that I would do it. Well, yeah, I have the new babies, and I think I do have some roosters in there. Yeah, I know Foghorn Leghorn is actually younger, so maybe it would be Goliath that I would call but he's so cool. I love that chicken. He's a really really cool chicken. So, or I should say rooster. But the other thing that we would want to be doing is I have a lot of wheat packed away, as you guys know, in the berries still. So that could be planted to produce wheat that could be fed to the chickens as well, or used to make bread. So that would be an option as well. So just putting that out there as well. So that would be depending on when SHTF happened. If it happens in the middle of winter, first thing in the spring, you'd be planting a lot of wheat to try to grow it, to use it for the following winter, not only for yourselves and your group, but also to feed your animals. You would have to have refreshing your stock in doing that with your chickens. So yeah, oh absolutely. There's corn, you can grow corn, and then set that aside and have that for them as well. Absolutely. So those would be things I'm going to tell you where I live, guys, we have so many cornfields all over the place, and the farmers, if it's a truly SHTF situation, they're not going to be able to get all that corn out of those fields. So we would be in those fields getting as much of that corn as we possibly could. That's a reality as well. So, Ed, I sent you an email about to get together in July. I'll be there with my RV. 80 came in and said that. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I know. You know what? Some things are going on with that I will be addressing soon. I promise you. And I will be sharing everything as soon as I have all my information in hand. Last season we got feed corn 2 for $13. Then last month it was 2 for $17. Today it's 2 for $20. $50. Crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. Everything is going up. Prices have gone crazy. I talked about it in my earlier video today. Like Margie was telling me that the paper products for the packs, the 10 packs and the big packs of toilet paper and the packs of paper towels, every one of them up $2 per pack. So that's a huge increase. When you're talking, it was $9.99 for a 10 pack of 10 boxes of Kleenex. So now it's $11.99. That is a huge increase in price. So Yeah, not good at all. Not good at all. So there was something else I was going to talk about really quickly, and if I could remember what it is now, hold on a second. Man, there was something somebody else had brought up a point that I wanted to discuss as well, besides the chickens. I don't know. Yeah, I wish my salary would go up. Yeah, I hear that. He says, I wish my salary would go up $2. Yeah, that never goes up. Gas prices go up, food prices, the prices of lumber, any kind of goods you're trying to get. It's harder to get goods. Becky and Mom were looking to get a window for their house, the big window, replace that one. And the one window place said, "Oh yeah, it could be September before we could get a window." I mean, that's how bad it is. So check out Bluefield and Princeton when you move to West Virginia. I will definitely. I can't. Well, like I said, I want to explore that whole area. I will tell you what. I will be doing a ton of riding down there, guaranteed that. Looking forward. When Heather and I were down there, in the way the roads are, they're kind of windy, which I like that. I'm really, really looking forward to jumping on a bike and just going for a ride and seeing what we can see down there. I think that's going to be really, really exciting. So, Kleenex at the tree is always $1 a box. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. I like getting the 10 packs from Wegmans. I like the Kleenex. I'll actually show you. I keep one right by my bed. I always like these. These just are handy. I actually have like, I don't know, I think I got like 3 of them strategically placed around the house. So if I need to clean my glasses or if I need to blow my nose or whatever the case may be, they're right there, which is nice. Which is nice. Dogs are all wiped out here too. And I'll do this real quick. Hold on. There's Mr. Max. And I think Luce is, yep, there he is right there. And all the dogs are right here. So I have Pandora's right here, Hella's at the end, and Caesar's over by the door. So, let's see. It was someone's comment about parents, kids, shots, i.e. the jab, I think. I did address that about being a parent and making that choice. You know, you got to advocate for your children. That's the number one thing. There is such an indoctrination going on right now. Unbelievable. You know, in the military, there have been a lot of people of whatever color are really, really getting tired of this indoctrination that, you know, white people are bad, that white people, all white people are suppressing other people. Guy, I'm going to tell you what, and I've talked about this, okay? And I'm even going to say the guy's name, all right? And if anybody knows who this is, he was from Florida, all right? We were in the service together down at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The guy's name was Dennis Rolle. I think it was R-O-L-E, if I'm not mistaken. It's obviously it's been a long, long time. Really, really cool dude. The racism that I encountered in the military against me because I was white was unbelievable. The hatred that these people had, this group of people had, it was I was blown away, to be honest with you, because I was not. We were raised, you treat everybody the way you want to be treated. I still go by that philosophy. So again, if you're cool with me, I'm going to be cool with you. Again, I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what your political views are. If you're a good person, we can have a discussion. We can talk. We can hang out. We can drink a beer together, whatever the case may be. We may not talk politics. We may not talk religion, okay? But, you know, that's okay. You agree to disagree, okay? But I always take everybody on an individual basis. And me and this kid, Dennis, who was black, and I hate using that. I really, really do. But Me and him were like best friends. We hung out, we did everything together, and he was pressured by the brothers. They told him he needed to pick a side. He either stuck with me or he was not going to be in with them at all. And so, he had to make that hard choice and say, Ed, I can't. And I looked at him, and I'll never forget it. And I go, Dennis, and I wasn't pissed. I wasn't pissed at him. I said, I get it. I understand. And I did. I did get it because he was being put under so much pressure that if he had said, hey, screw you, I'm going to hang out with Ed, I was it. That's all he would have because the other whites weren't going to welcome, hey, yeah, come in and hang out with us. It wasn't like that. Okay. And we're not talking the 1960s here, guys. We're talking in the 80s. So, but yeah, I never dealt with racism, really true racism, until I went in the military. And it was directed at me because I was white. So, a young lady that I was in North Carolina after I got out of the service and I'm there, I would have married her. I'd have had kids with her. Loved her. She was awesome, awesome, awesome girl. She told me, Ed, you're everything I've always wanted in a man, except that you're white. She says, I know you don't care what other people think. She goes, but I can't deal with the way people treat us as an interracial couple. So we ended up going our separate ways. I still think about her. I'll be honest with you. I still think, and I don't think badly. I hope that she had a good life, and I hope she's happy, and I hope she found what she wanted. You know, um, it's sad that our society is the way it is. It's sad that things are the way that they are, and that people treat each other the way that they treat each other. It makes me sick. I'll be honest with you. Me personally, if I am attracted to somebody, I'm attracted to them because of them. I'm not attracted to them because they're white, red, yellow, black, whatever color they are. I'm attracted to them because of the person that they are. Whatever that energy that they're giving off, and I go, ooh, she's something. I like her. You know what I mean? It never was a factor for me. It never was. So, but wasn't Jungle Fever. It had nothing to do with, absolutely nothing to do. It was her. It was just her. She was awesome. So, but but unfortunately, our society, even now, um, it is so freaking bad. The racism is so bad, and a lot of it now white people are the villain, which I'm just like, what? Whatever. So we all bleed red. Exactly right. The Ridge Homestead just said we all bleed red, and that's 100% true. You know, 80K Man says more people are waking up. We started gardening groups on Garden Share and groups on raising beef cows. That's cool. No, that's absolutely cool. Yeah. I'm going to tell you what. Encourage people to do it. Teach, teach, teach. Learn, learn, learn. Um, I'll tell you. I'll give you a little tip. One of the things that we're doing, we're going to be doing two things. We're getting liquid seaweed. Okay. Uh, Seaweed is a great fertilizer for everything in the garden. It's a natural thing, obviously. It's not a chemical, and seaweed is actually kind of like Miracle Grow, but without being a chemical. So what you do is you save 2 cups of coffee grounds, take a 5-gallon bucket, you put that in the 5-gallon bucket, you soak it overnight, and then you take that water and you put that in your garden, feed your garden that way. That's one tip for you. Second tip, okay. Well, that's a coffee grounds. The second one would be the seaweed. They both really, really help the gardens grow better. The coffee grounds have a lot of nitrogen and stuff like that, which is really good for your soil, helps your plants and stuff like that. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different things that will really, really work to help your garden flourish. And that's what you're looking for at the end of the day. So 80 came in, you're talking about Facebook. I'm an Seed Exchange group recommended. Oh, that's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that either. I'm going to tell you what, guys, this year, probably more than any other year, if you have your gardens this year, collect your seeds. Get your seeds. We are going to do that as well. Anything that we harvest this year, we're definitely going to be collecting the seeds and putting them away and trying to be ready as much as we possibly can. Do the same thing we did this year, next year. The beauty is, and like this was the first year we grew from seed, right? I was using seeds that I had stored away for quite a while. Not real good. I basically need to take all those seeds that I had that were from what that one company, and I showed you what they were. So I'm not going to try to bash any company, but they were beyond the point of being viable anymore. Didn't even realize it. I've just had them. I put them aside, and I'm like, yeah, okay, we're good. I always add more seeds every year anyway. So the other seeds that I had that were 1 or 2 years old, those ones did great. But those older seeds did not do well. So that's something you got to pay attention to as well. So if you're saving seeds, mark down what year they were, mark down what year you saved them, mark down what they were, and have them, and definitely continue to work on your gardens. The more you learn, guys, trial and error. Like I said, this was my first year growing from seed. So what's my take on the warships in Argentina and Cuba Bay of Pigs? I know that they were talking. Well, I don't think they're there yet. I know that they were on their way to those places, and that the government is saying, if it's true or not, who knows, they believe they could have arms on there that they're bringing into those countries. I don't know. I don't know if they are or not, but it could be used as an excuse to start something, and that's not a good thing. I don't know if you guys saw this, and I don't know, again, some things I know, and I can say, yes, I know this is a fact. This one I read, okay? I get all kinds of information all the time, but this is from one of the news agencies that put this out there. And they were saying that China has recently gone in and gathered up anybody that is military age of the younger people and took them and are putting them in the military, and they are preparing for war. Would that shock me? It would not shock me at all. At some point, I think, somebody said use a zipper lock with damp paper towel is a trick to germinate the seeds. Yep. Before putting them in the soil. Yep. Cuts germination rate in half and most seeds. Thank you, Brian Barry, for letting us know that. I appreciate that. Somebody else had said that as well. And I definitely will do that next time as well. I think that's, again, good advice. Any advice that you can get from people when they're offering free advice to try to help you out, I think is a good thing. So germinating the seeds first and see what works, and then once it starts to germinate, you can tell, then plant them. I think that's a fantastic thing to do. Fantastic thing to do. But again, post-event, I want you truly to remember, there will be no meat to be had unless you have things on your own homestead, or you have whatever that you have there that you can utilize. There's not going to be going into the woods and hunting, because there's nothing is going to be there, because the woods are going to be hunted dry. There'll be very, very little game. Very little game, okay? Because everybody and their brother is going to go out there banging away in the woods, and they're going to kill everything. And so you're going to have a lot of things that are going to go deep, deep into the woods, and you're not going to. The reality is, in a true apocalyptic post-event, within 1 year of the event happening, 90% of the people in this country will be dead. So there's going to be a whole lot less people. It'll give it a chance for the game to come back. It may take 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years for the game to come back. We'll have a whole lot less people here that'll be fighting for supplies and stuff like that. We're going to be growers and gatherers. That's what we're going to be. You're going to be, if you have chickens, that's why I said I have the incubators. I will be constantly making new chickens, because you're going to have to eat some of them. You're going to probably lose some to predators. So, those are things that you really got to think about as well. So whatever animals that you have on your homestead, making sure how are you going to feed them in that post event. So that was like the question the person was asking me, and I addressed that earlier in the stream. You know, I think about these things. I absolutely do. The dogs and the cats, I keep a certain amount of food available for them in that post event. Eventually, will that food run out? Absolutely, it will. But guess what? There will be plenty of dead things laying around on the ground that they can eat, and that's what they'll do long term. Okay, that's a fact. So, but you know, eggshells are another thing that's really good for your garden. Puts calcium back in the soil as well, which is really, really good, especially for like your tomatoes. We had cooked up eggs the other day, and I told Heather, take the eggshells, crush them all up really good, and put them around the tomatoes. So, you know, it's always something. It's always something. But there are things that we can do to prepare, to look ahead, to plan ahead. Will it happen in our lifetime? I can't tell you that it will. I can't tell you that it won't. Could it happen? Absolutely it could. Do I feel like it will happen in our lifetime? I absolutely do. I just hope I'm not too old by the time it happens that I'm not physically able to deal with it. Okay. You know, again, growing in gardening is going to be the key to survival in a post event. Growing enough food to get you through that winter, harvesting every freaking apple off the apple tree, every peach off the peach tree, canning it, making sure that you can have it so that it's going to be there for the winter so that you can survive. That's what people don't get, because when it's the middle of winter and it's the middle of January or middle of February, you're not gathering squat outside, and there's nothing to grow outside. So unless you have grow lights and you can do microgreens and do that type of thing, it's not going to be there. So just, you know, that's reality. So, but I have eggshells crushed all over. My brother thought I lost my mind. Tanya Jackson just said, you know what, Tanya, like I said, it's smart. The important thing that I would encourage you guys to do, any information that you're getting with gardening, write it down. Put it down in pen and paper, or get books on companion gardening. Get books on what to do, what helps a garden, what makes it more viable, what's going to make it better. Okay, they are great things to do. Great things to do. You know, and again, learn. The more you learn, the better you will be in the long run. Just by practice, figuring out what works, what doesn't work. What worked great this year, next year might not work like that. Okay, always rotate. That's probably the biggest thing. The number one thing I will tell you guys: every year, rotate your garden. This fall, if you have your garden spot, what I would highly recommend, when every other Yahoo is raking up their leaves and putting them on the curb, take your leaves, put it on your garden bed, cover it up. Take a piece of plastic, put them leaves in the garden, and cover it up with a piece of plastic so that it'll rot down through the winter. You know, it's absolutely going to be better for your garden long term. That is a natural, wonderful thing to have for your garden. So, you know, that's what you definitely want to do. I mean, that's it. You know, we'll be doing it this year too. See, last year I put the leaves in the garden beds, and then the winds came and they blew a lot of the leaves out. Some of them stayed, but so this year I will put a bunch of leaves in there, and I'm going to cover them with plastic and weight them down so those leaves have a chance to rot down. When the spring comes, we take that plastic off, and man, I'll tell you what, we're going to have a nice start to that garden. Just something to think about, just putting that out there. But again, learn as much as you possibly can. Figure out what works, tweak it, adjust every year. Every year is an adjustment. Every year you figure out what works and what doesn't work, and that's a smart thing to do. You know, because right now it's not life or death. In a post event, if a post event happens in our lifetime, it's life or death. Because I'm telling you, you're not hunting in the woods. If you think you're going to be Rambo and go off into the woods and you're going to hunt and you're going to be living off the land and it's going to be great, good luck. Good luck, because your chances of long-term survival, not good. Not good at all. So, you know, but just plan ahead. Just try to be as ready as you can be. Continue to prep. That's another thing, guys. Just prep. Keep getting ready. Keep adding to your preps. I do a lot of, you know, beans, Black beans. I do, lentils, all those type of stuff. Just keep putting it away. Elbow macaroni. There's another one. Indefinite shelf life on elbow macaroni. Pack it away, put it away, forget like you have it, pretend like it's not even there. And then when the time comes, so think about this. Here's a nice easy meal, right? You got your nice can of stewed tomatoes that you canned because you got it out of your garden. You take, some of that elbow macaroni, you cook that up, you put those stewed tomatoes in there, you maybe add some spices and stuff. There you go. There's your meal. Really cheap too, realistically. Not an expensive meal, and it will definitely fill you up. And then if you can add meat or whatever else to it, then you do that. So 4-pound jars of peanut butter, $4. I grab 5. That's cheap. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. And peanut butter is great to have. A lot of protein with that. So that's a really, really smart thing to do as well. So I grew up eating goulash, guys. Pound of hamburger, can of tomatoes, elbow macaronis, put it in there, cook it up, boom, there you go. There was dinner. We did that a lot. Because when you're poor, you do what you got to do to survive. We did a lot of macaroni and cheese, a lot of hamburger helper, And the funny thing is, you would think with eating that so much as a kid that I would be sick of it and I wouldn't want to have it anymore. I still love it. It's like a comfort food. So, all right, let's do this really quickly, okay? Because time is getting away from me, and I want to make sure we do this before we get away from that. We are Legion because we are many. We are the ones that are awake. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge family and a huge network. And again, while we're doing that, guys, if you would shoot a thumbs up to show support for the channel, please do that again. Let's try to get that number up a little bit higher. We're at, 570? Let's see if we can hit, let's say 700. Let's see if we can hit 700. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do that to show support. Thank you for that ahead of time. Again, it really does help with the algorithm, so the more interaction we can have, the better it is for the channel as well. And also, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up, of course. So we have Nowhere, Oklahoma, Ozarks, and Arkansas, Fort Worth, Texas, Eastern Kentucky, St. Columbian, Quebec. I hope I said that right. We have Mississippi, Central Pennsylvania, Central Missouri, Amarillo, Texas. Let's see, Houston, Texas, Gatlin, Pennsylvania, Beech Grove, Indiana, Apollo, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, Kentucky. We have Pleasant Plain, Ohio, Southwest Ontario, Ulster Park, New York, New Mexico, Turkey, Texas, Buffalo, New York, Canandaigua, New York. Hey, Pat and Robin, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you. We have Maryland, White Plains, New York, Endicott, New York, Hutchinson, Kansas, Michigan, UP of Michigan, Juliet, Illinois, Mercerburg, Pennsylvania, Boston, Mass, Avon, Connecticut, Newfoundland, New Hampshire, North Shore, Albany, New York, Louisiana, Michigan City, Indiana, Lakeland, Florida. We got Hawaii, Maine, the Adirondacks, Northern Indiana, originally from Texas. We have Arkansas, Kansas, Canaseraga, New York. Let's see. Akron, South Carolina. Falls of we have Kentucky, Vernon Hills, Illinois, Western New York, Hudson, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Avoca, New York, Hollywood, California, Eastern Washington, South Bend, Indiana, Tracy, California, Boone, Iowa. We have Wyoming, Wisconsin, Eastern Washington, Northwest Indiana, Germantown, Maryland, Brainbridge, New York, Clearmore, Oklahoma. Hey, Dowell's Homestead, you're doing great. Love your channel. Thank you very much, hon. I appreciate that, and thank you very much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. So, guys, again, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge network of people. We are really the ones that can make a difference. We really are. Now and post-event. the way we make a difference now, we got Alabama's there, Roll Tide, absolutely. Um, we're the ones that truly can make a difference. And teaching, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, awesome. Was down there, spent plenty of time down in Bragg, plenty of time down there. Uh, so again, we're really truly are the ones that can make a difference. I want to do a couple quick shout outs really quick, guys. Icky Can up in Canada, my buddy up there. Go show him some support on his channel. JJ, if you would throw his link up there, I would appreciate that. And thank you. Also, up in Canada, Sean James with My Self Reliance. And he also has Sean James' channel as well. So he has the two channels. Really good guy, very, very skilled. Definitely go show him some love as well. Tell him Prepper Nurse One sent you. Also, Adam with Marfugal News. Great guy, really, really down to earth. He's out in Seattle. Show him some love as well. And of course, tell him Prepper Nurse One sent you over. You have Magic Prepper. You have Gray Man Prepping. You have Green Greg's. Let's see who we got. Southern Prepper One. Doug and Stacy would be another channel that I would absolutely recommend. Prepper Princess. And, so there's so many different channels out there, guys. I could go on and on and on. Angry Prepper down in New York, of course. Alaskan Prepper. And I try not to leave anybody up. There's so many. Bizarizajizza is taking the summer off. He's just taking care of some family stuff. So he is taking a break from social media. And so there's Icky Can's link, guys. North Shore Preparedness just threw that up there. Please go show him some love. Let's get his numbers up a little bit higher. Real good guy. And the link is right there. North Shore Preparedness just put it up there. So North Shore Preparedness says PN1 doesn't have a bad channel either. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know what? I'm very, very blessed to have all you guys and be part of this. I want to thank my moderators. We're absolutely awesome. They really take care of the chat and keep it clean and keep it family friendly. And I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Pinball Preparedness. Yep, he's a good guy as well. Pinball's a good dude. So let's show some love to each other. Go out there, check out these channels if you haven't already. Subscribe to them, and show them some support. So, that's important. That's important. We definitely need to support each other. And also, I want to thank all of you guys for being here and being part of this. So what are we at? 639 on the thumbs up. We're not making 700. But let's see how high we can get. Let's see how close to 700 we can get with those thumbs up, guys. Let's see if we can. It'd be a stretch to get 61 more thumbs up, but we'll try. Let's try to get some more thumbs up to show support for the channel. Again, it really does help with the algorithms. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel. So I thank you for that reason as well. Let's see how close we can get just for fun. Again, I do like to see a lot of thumbs up. And again, if you're not subscribed, I would ask you to please subscribe. Hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. I had a really cool chat with a chick today down at Tractor Supply. She's really was like, I was talking about the channel and prepping. She's like, oh, what's your name of your channel? I want to check you out. She goes, I'm really interested in that. So I gave her the, I'm always talking prepping, always talking about the channel. So, it's fun. Like I said, I enjoy it. Okay. Yep. 80K man, great statement. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And he's 100% right. If you do nothing, then you're preparing to fail. If you are working towards trying to make yourself better, make yourself more sufficient. Again, the simple, easy stat to remember, if you remember nothing else, 95% of the people in this country are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. That means there's going to be a lot of victims out there, a lot of people looking to take from you because you have prepared. You need to be ready for that. You need to prepare to defend what you have. You need to prepare for those type of things. So think about that ahead of time, guys, okay? Remember, guys, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. We are one race called the human race. We all bleed red. We need to stop letting them get us fighting amongst each other ourselves. We got to stop letting them get us going with race, religion, and even politics. because right now our country's so divided even with that. You know what? You can agree or you can agree to disagree with somebody and still be friends, but unfortunately they have pushed it so much to the point where there's hostilities with people that have different political views, which is stupid. The biggest thing that I will never ever forget as a kid, and I'll never forget this, and I used to think, how insane is this? And I'm going to use Ireland. When you had the Catholics and the Protestants, they're all white, everybody was white, but they're Protestant and we're Catholic. We hate you because you're a different religion. And they were killing each other over religion. That is insanity. It's insanity in my book. Okay? Um, we got to stop. We got to stop letting them do it to us. We really do. What are we at? 678, 22 away, guys. Can we do it? Can we hit 700 on those thumbs up before we jump off here? Um, let's pop them out there. We've got 21 away now. Also, remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about and that we love every single day how we feel. Life is so short and it is so precious. Let's try to support each other. Let's love each other. Let's stop the nonsense. Let's stop letting them win. That would be wonderful if we could do that. It really would be. Also, remember, guys, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you were trying to accomplish, whatever you were trying to do, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from reaching your goals is you. That's it. Nobody else can stop you. You stay positive, stay away from negative people that are telling you what you cannot accomplish. Set your goals and then set about them making them happen. Realistic goals. Make them small to start with. Make that goal happen, and then you move on to the next goal. And it's very, very simple. And it's amazing how much you will get done. And all of a sudden, the next thing you know, you've reached that goal. We just reached ours, 701. I didn't think we were going to hit 700, but we did. So that's very, very cool. Guys, prep. Continue to get ready. We just don't know what's going to happen. Puerto Rico power grid is down. Puerto Rico got hit with a bunch of earthquakes. Well, that's not good. They've had so many issues out there. Amazing issues out there. Very reliant people, very much working to help each other, which is great. I'm glad to see it. So what are we, 7:05? All right, guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Be safe. Keep prepping. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now.